So today is Laugh and Get Rich Day. We should clarify, the rich in this holiday is the figurative rich. Like you can laugh at something, then you're rich in joy. So don't get too excited there.
But we're also talking about the literal rich too, in this case with stand-up comedians. Stand-up comedy is a job, much like anchoring the news or inserting an IV at the hospital. And over the years, we have talked with more than a few about how they do their work.
I worked in places that they're very tough in those days, and we didn't have comedy clubs. The audiences wasn't exactly the she crowd, you know. It was just, you know, hard-working guys off the street that wanted to see nude women in those days. And I was the revolving comedians. They had like two of us, and we just went around in a circle, continued. Started that in Washington, D.C., believe it or not. And then I went on to become a big star, and I wound up in Maine. Something went wrong.
You're at the pinnacle now.
Oh, God. Well, I never had anything written for me my entire career up to this very day. It all came to me on the stage, working in these tough spots, and I've found a beginning, middle, and an ending, which is always you have to have, which now today I have. But I would say 10 to 15% of the show every night changes according to where I am. I assure you, tonight's show will change. Either I'll be running off the stage and the audience will be coming after me, or they'll be cheering me on as I make up something.
This isn't a rock concert. I don't do old bits. Like once it's in a special, it's entombed, it lives there, we move on. An artist's job is to keep evolving. I think it would be sad if I was like, you guys remember the Party Goblin? Remember in my 20s when I used to talk about drinking?
Just so you know, your Party Goblin sleeps in the back of your brain. For those of you that are unfamiliar with my work, she sleeps in the back of your brain and she waits on a pile of rags and regrets an old Tiger Beat magazine. She waits for the perfect opportunity. And she will awaken when she hears you say, I guess I'll just come out for one drink.
Well, I'm 39 now and a mother, and I'm still the same. So this is not even like the baby hour, because I still have fans that don't have kids. This is the best hour I've ever written. It's been so much fun touring it. It is an energetic, meaningful, super fun, like action-packed hour. Do I pretend to be a whale more than once? Maybe.
I know this sounds weird, but I sort of knew what my career was before it was. I felt like I was sort of always walking into it. But believe me, it wasn't an easy walk, but I knew what was going to happen.
What did your mother and father do?
My father was an obstetrician gynecologist and also a very big Star Wars fan, so he loved it if you called him OBGYNOB. Thank you. I believe that's the 1,000,000th time I've told that joke. Ding! Ding! He was very physically funny, and my mother was seriously like the smartest person I know. She was an antique dealer, and she was definitely the funniest person I knew. Definitely. Like when she was teaching me how to drive, she would just say it so dryly. Like I would take a corner and she'd be like, darling, it's not a getaway car.
What was the first time you ever performed stand-up comedy?
It was 1989, and I walked on the stage, and my friend John Wiley, as I walked on the stage, he goes, you're really bad. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even at the mic yet. This is like pre-heckling. But New York's the best place to learn because everybody does. They heckle you so much that you really learn how to control a crowd.
Tough crowds make for better comedians,
yes,
right?
They do.
You either get better or you get out.
Right. There's only on occasion that you'd like to cry. I've never actually cried. I've internalized the weeping, but no, it does. It makes you. My happiest place to be is on a stage.
So you like just that, the being live and the connection with the audience.
Well, because it's never going to happen again that way, ever. I like to think that I have 4 hours of recipes and the audience are my dinner guests and what are we going to make tonight? And you're going to be involved. Like, I can't stand when people just get up and do the same act over and over again. One, how do they memorize it? I mean, like, when I walk in a room, I can't remember why I walked in the room. I always think there's going to be like a clue in the fridge. And then I'm like halfway through a sandwich going, I think I forgot to file my taxes. Like, I don't know how anybody could memorize pages of material.
I've wondered that about comedians is, do they ever just forget or get lost?
Of course they do. And the greatest thing in the world is when you get off stage and your boss yells at you for forgetting it, you are your boss. Like, you know, it's not like in a script where you say the wrong line and you're like, line. This is like, there's a magical thing that happens in comedy is that No matter, it's trusting your gift. And the longer you do it, the more you trust it. And when you first start, you're like, what if I'm not funny tomorrow? I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. It's not like I went to be funny school, you know? You can learn how to structure your act, but you can't learn how to be funny.
The fear that the funny could just disappear.
Right.
Before tomorrow. I hadn't thought of that.
Right. Well, I mean, our talents up here could disappear tomorrow as
Like,
well.
Could?
Yeah.
Great.
Listen,
That's the problem.
don't mess up your face. That's your job, Brian.
The money maker. Right.